Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unitarian Coastal Fellowship. Ours is a chosen faith and a community that chooses to come together because we believe we are better together. Our interim UU minister, Reverend Micah C. Ma, is off today, and our service is about play, and it's adapted from Touchstones, which is a source of great ideas and readings and sermons and discussion that we utilize. So I have a question. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes. Okay, this is better. Is that better? Yes. I may be holding this all day, or a piece of tape maybe. Hopefully you received a piece of paper and some crayons. And since the service is about play, we want you to play. Yes. Oh, yeah. We'll see how this does. So I'm Marilyn Cullison, the worship committee chair, and your worship leader this morning. And I want to thank all our volunteers, all our helpers, Barb and Karen on AV, Megan, our pianist, and then Wes and Kai are going to help me with chalice lighting, and Jo Ellen is somewhere in here. She's going to read the Time for All Ages. It takes many hands, hearts, and voices to create a worship service. I don't want to forget the ushers, who's I'm not sure who they are today. Helene and somebody else. We offer a special welcome to those on Zoom today. If you could wave the camera. Good morning. And I want to ask if there are any visitors in the sanctuary. And if there are, could you raise your hand? Great. If you're comfortable doing so and you would like to, I would like for you to introduce yourself. There's no requirement though, but to do so we need to use the mic so people on Zoom can hear. Thank you.
We're Rick and Georgie Searles, and we're members of the Eno River Fellowship in Durham. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, we were members of this congregation. And we still have name tags on the name tag board.
And we're excited to be back. Welcome to the Searles. Welcome back.
Hi, my name is Frank Rosardi. I'm a former member here. I've had many office positions also in here, and I'm coming to visit. I have a friend of mine who passed away, and they just did a memorial service for him over in the VFW, and I'm staying with Martha and Joe Nassett. I've been having a great week. I wish I could do this all the time. Thank you.
My name is Rebecca Blair Cole. I am Martha and Joe Nassett's daughter. I've been staying with Mark and Penny this weekend because Frank's staying with my parents. I'm also a former member at our old location, and this is the first time I've seen the new building, which is pretty awesome considering how much work went into it.
I'm kind of a visitor, but this will be the last time I say this because thanks to the help from my mom, Helene, that I now live here. It's hot here. That's okay, because I think winters are going to be good. I come from Virginia, which isn't too far away, but it seems different.
Welcome. Yes, it is hot here. And now Joan Burton, our treasurer, I just saw Joan, is going to give us our announcements this morning. Hi.
This right here. Huh? This announcement from the search committee. We have known from the start of Reverend Ma's time with us that they are our interim minister. They even have their walking stick up here as a reminder that their time here is limited, so we are in the process of searching for our next full-time contract minister. We need your feedback, suggestions, and ideas to help us find the very best full-time contract minister for UCF. If you have not already completed the UCF Ministerial Search Survey, please take 5 to 10 minutes to complete this. The survey closes Thursday, August 31st. Miriam emailed the survey link on August 18th, and the link is in Friday's Wave and on the bulletin board in the social hall. If you need a paper copy, please ask a search committee member. Members are Tom Cullison, Miriam Green, Sarah Greiner, Penny Hooper, and Amy Jones. The search committee is having a conversation with the congregation today. Please plan to stay after today's worship service to hear more about the search process, ask questions, and provide some feedback. Zoom worshipers, please stay on for this after the service. Zoom. And then pancakes. You like pancakes? Come early, first Sunday, Family Fun Day, next Sunday, September 3rd, 9:30. Riley, right? Pancakes? The kids and families will be making pancakes and waffles and serving everyone who is hungry. We will have both a regular and gluten-free batter, so that's good. Got an electric griddle? Bring it. And if you have a special fruit topping, bring that too. Feel free to share. We'll have butter, syrup, special shaped pancakes, along with coffee, tea, 2% organic milk, and juice. It's quite a breakfast. Come early and bring your appetite for a great UCF family breakfast. Yum. Yum, yum. Will everybody in the sanctuary please silence their cell phones? And all of those on Zoom, turn off your cameras to conserve bandwidth. Thank you. And now we invite everyone to please turn and greet your neighbor. Neighbor. That's all right? Yeah.
Our opening words, I need to turn this on. Our opening words are by Reverend Susan Magin. From belong the playful summer clouds, beyond the earth's thin blue line, from beyond the bright moon and the meteor showers, we hear the call to look and listen carefully, to turn away from a world that buys and sells happiness, to fully experience the luring whisper of heart's truth. Why not today? Why not now? We are here and together at home in this evolving place, home in this ever-changing breath and body, home in this dewy morning, even as it reaches toward a hot, high noon. We hear the call from far beyond and deep within, and we do not hear it alone. Come, let us worship together. I invite Wes and Kai up to help with chalice lighting. Please. This is a chalice of boundless love, a chalice of faithful service, a chalice of infectious laughter, a chalice of endless play, and a chalice of audacious hope. We light this flame in gratitude for this gathering of people. When we are apart, may we tend this flame with our faith. We also light our peace candle to remind ourselves that peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but peace is the presence of justice. And now, I invite everyone to rise as they are able and willing to sing our opening hymn. It's number 311, Let It Be a Dance. And you're welcome to dance.
Let it be a dance.
has a story for all of us this morning. And our time for all ages. And it has to do with the otter coloring that you're doing.
So continue coloring while you listen to the story. And I have to say, first off, that one of the joys of motherhood and parenthood was after a long day of hard work and hard play, we would snuggle in and have stories. And this is why I love to read stories. But we would have our story time. They'd pick out the books, and it was a time of serenity, and we would just relax in and enjoy a story. And then after a little while, my youngest one would say, "Mom, wake up, finish the story." So if I fall asleep, wake me up, right? Daniel firmly, this is adapted from The Way of the Otter by Julie Simon. Daniel firmly grips his paddle and pulls hard against the water. He watches as the paddle drives below the surface, and then leaves a tiny whirlpool as the paddle rises above the water. The kayak glides forward. He peers into the tall cattails arching above the sides of the kayak and scans for mud chutes. A light breeze moves his hair from his eyes, but he cannot see the banks at all in the dim dawn light. They paddle on and soon emerge from the cattails and reeds of the marsh channel into a small open stream. The sun climbs and glows up over the horizon. Now Daniel can see muddy, grassy shoots among the roots and bushes covering the banks of the stream. "Mom, over there," he whispers, pointing to some marshy grasses along the second chute. "We can wait over there. If we're quiet, they won't notice us." They slowly paddle the kayak to the spot Daniel has suggested, backing it in so they can look out at the mud chute, undetected among the grasses. Then they wait, quiet and watchful, breathing in the moist air. Daniel is prepared to wait the whole morning or longer if need be. He is an experienced otter spotter. As they wait, Daniel remembered when he first learned about river otters. He was 5 or 6, and his mother gave him a book for his birthday. It was My Little Book of River Otters by Hope Marston. He asked his mother to read it to him so often that he memorized the words. That book led him to learn as much about river otters as possible. While he knew that otters loved to play, he realized that young otters developed essential survival skills by playing, like how to hunt for food. In addition, playing with rocks improved skills like opening mussels and clams. Playing also helped strengthen their bonds with other otters. Daniel loved his kayak trips with his mother to watch the otters. He often imagined that he was an otter. On this morning, he did not have to wait very long. 3 river otters scampered along the bank. They have long, slender, brown, fur-covered bodies with long, narrow tails and cute faces with long whiskers. One is much bigger than the other 2. A mom and her 2 pups are out looking for breakfast. They slide down the mud chute into the stream, unaware they're being watched. Daniel's excited, but he stays quiet, hardly breathing with delight. Who doesn't love looking at the otters at the aquarium? The otters dive underwater looking for small fish, clams, and crayfish. They each find a meal, climb up the bank, and enjoy it. Then the otters slide back down the chute and dive for more food. One of the pups must be full. He quickly emerges from under the water with a rock instead of a fish, flips on his back, and tosses the rock between his front paws. He looks like he is juggling. Daniel can barely keep back his giggles, but he is hoping for even more fun. Sure enough, after the other pup eats her fill of fish, she joins her brother, juggling 2 rocks while floating on her back. Then her brother decides it's time to play slide and chase. He dashes up the bank and slides down the chute on his stomach. He lands in the stream with a swoosh, then dives and swims up beside his sister. She rolls and drops her rocks. The pups splash and roll across the stream. They chase each other up the bank and down the mudslide over and over again. Eventually, Mama Otter finishes her breakfast too. She joined the pups in the slide and chase game. They are 3 otters rolling and splashing and frolicking in the water. Finally, Daniel can no longer contain his laughter. He giggles through his fingers. The otters stop, look over at the reeds where Daniel and his mother are hidden. Then they scramble up the bank and disappear into the shrubs. Daniel sighs a tired, contented sigh. Now he will have his own breakfast. He has seen the play of the otter.
Thank you, Joanne. Well, that was the next thing in the script. So, yes, let's show our otters right now. Good job. I don't know, I see some pretty nice, it's not a contest, but there's some nice coloring out there. Thank you, everyone. And Joellen, I was going to add that one of my favorite pictures from days gone past is a picture of Tom and I asleep on the floor, and the kids are looking at the book that my parents took because we fell asleep reading the story. Every week, we make space and time to be human together. To be human is to experience highs and lows in life, to laugh, to cry, to play, to sing, to shout, to hurt, and to heal. We share these experiences with one another, not just to lessen our burdens, but to share this spiritual experience together. So I invite you up for our stones and water ritual. We line up here over on the wall, and we select stones or shells from this basket and place them gently in the chalice. And if you wish to share a personal joy or concern about a person or persons in your life, there's paper to fill out, and I will read them after our ritual, as well as the community joys and concerns. I invite you up. for fire victims around the world. We have a heated up space, fire deaths, and we mourn all those lives. And this stone is for those who lost their life this weekend to gun violence. This stone is for our family and friends that are mourning the loss of Libby Stedman of Gloucester. Keep her husband Steve in your thoughts. And it's from Caroline Dominguez. And this stone is from Adam. And Adam is dealing with spiritual thoughts about God, and he's expressing his concern. Enjoy. And finally, I have a joy. It's from Martha Nassett. Colleen Clark is doing well in Ecuador. She has a cat and an apartment, and she says she's doing as well as old folks can be. I have one more concern. Tom and Linda Rudd ask for your support and positivity as Tom seeks to heal from a rough bout with COVID, including some prolonged and complicated effects. So they'll both be staying in Raleigh for a while as he recuperates and seeks care. Please join me for a time of prayer. This prayer is by Reverend Maureen Killeran. And after the prayer, we'll have a silence and then music by Megan. Holy grandparents of the universe, energies of creation, endless mysteries of life, you are the music that sounded before our world was born. Sound and silence woven through the ages, far beyond the most profound wisdom humanity has been able to touch. Be with us. Deepen our willingness to live without certainty, to take the risks of living on the edges of our creativity, to play with the universe again as we did when we were children, to step beyond the boundaries of possibility and hope. Help us always to remember that we are in our essence the magic of star stuff, that we are kin to all that is and was and may yet come to be. Teach us to temper our impatience, to retain our conviction that what we do makes a difference, that even our smallest act can contribute to the good of a greater whole. Be with us in our uncertainties. Rejoice with our small triumphs. Comfort our losses. Remind us we are never alone, not in our joys or our tears. In the blessing of our silence, may we feel your presence, something greater than we have yet been able to comprehend. Please join me in singing the children out with the blessing song. Thank you, Mark. Our reading this morning is by Catherine May. It's titled Play as Enchantment. We misunderstand play itself, casting it as exuberant, silly, a frippery that signals to us that our children are still young enough to have not yet turned their minds to more weighty endeavors. But play is serious. Play is absolute. Play is in the complete absorption in something that doesn't matter to the external world, but which matters completely to you. It's an immersion in your own interests that becomes a feeling in itself, a potent emotion. Play is disappearance into a space of our choosing, invisible to those outside the game. It is the pursuit of pure flow, a sandbox mind in which we can test new thoughts, new selves. It's a form of symbolic living, a way to transpose one reality into another and mine it for meaning. Play is a form of enrichment. So we already did this, but people have continued to color. If you could, again, display your otter. This is a form of play. And early on, I heard some people say, oh, you mean the adults get to do it too? Yeah. I'm thrilled that you actually colored the otters. If you think back, remember about games that you played or games you play now. Like this morning, when I opened my Wordle on my iPhone, there was a new game from the Times, which I didn't even try to figure out. But truly, when I played word games, I'd block out everything else. As is my husband when he plays bridge. I can't even get him to come back to me. He's so immersed in it. So how about other games, like raise your hand if you play video games. Yeah, good. How about charades? It's been a long time since. Yahtzee goers. How about when you're swimming, you play like Marco Polo, you know, when you close your eyes and try to find one another? Marco Polo? Yeah. How about badminton? Anybody play that when they were a kid? I think it's been replaced now. Yeah. And then euchre. Did anyone play cards? I played euchre. I came from Indiana. We played that. Penny's like, yeah. And then, have you ever danced the hokey pokey? Yes. Oh, yes. So I looked up the hokey pokey. It was originally composed and sung by a trio called the Sun Valley Trio. It was released in 1950, and this trio was credited with creating this dance as entertainment for the ski crowd at the Sun Valley, Idaho resort. So it's a fun and healthy dance. It's been enjoyed by people of all ages for all generations. People of all ages for generations. And it's a great way to improve your cognitive skill, your cardiovascular health, your coordination, socialization. I guess there's more things, balance, yeah. So it's okay, next time you hear it, it's okay to put your right foot in and your right foot out and shake it all about. It's okay to play hokey pokey. The Reverend Jim Eller writes that play is a form of Unitarian Universalist transcendence. In play, we lose ourselves, and when we play full on, we fall out of regular time and enter a time as defined by that play. It's what holidays offer. It's a place to stretch and be stretched. It's like those family football games or croquet on the lawn. That was my favorite in my childhood. When one is playing, one is on a different time, no longer measured by the standard units of the larger society, but rather by the peculiar ones of the game in question. In the serious world, it may be 11 a.m. on such and such a day, month and year, but in the universe in which one is playing, it may be the third round, the fourth act, the allegro movement, the second kiss. In playing, one steps out of time into another. Yes, to play is to be in the moment of joy with one another, and it's a signal of transcendence. In play, we escape the pain, the sorrow, the conflict of everyday life, and it becomes the center of our life. It can be a place of pure joy, which seems to reach beyond time for a moment or two. And then my favorite play, summertime. Sadly, it's coming to a close as many of us go back to school and prepare for hurricane season. In a writing that he titled Welcoming Summer's Embrace, Reverend Kirk Lodeman Copeland begins, "A lot has changed since our childhood summers, but some things remain the same. Childhood summers were and still are blessed. It's not the length of the summer, but it's the depth that makes it so. Though much shorter than the school year, children enter summer, welcoming its embrace with the sense that it is endless. Having been confined by the conventions of school with schedules, rules, and homework, they experience summer as a magical time with longer days and beautiful weather. The unfettered days of summer introduced a rhythm in which time seemed to expand as the day lengthened. No longer a prisoner of the clock, time seemed to slow as the sun ascended to high noon and then began that long, slow descent to dusk. Even dusk was no real deterrent to a day of play. You'll remember this. For hide and seek was much more exciting after dark in the shadows of the street lights in front of my grandmother's house in that long ago era that lacked air conditioning. The boundary between inside and outside was mostly erased, and it made no sense to send children to bed until the air had cooled enough to make sleep possible. And yet, in summer more often than not, children begin stirring at the first light, eager to start another day of play. So think back. What are your memories of summer? It's good to reconnect with those summers from long ago and recall whatever magic those days cast upon our lives, savoring the rituals that slowed time down to a crawl, where each day was as long as the sky was deep and blue. As this summer's embrace comes to an end, what experiences are you seeking to ensure that you expand your treasure of summer memories? May the memories you made this summer be good companions in the future. And I invite you to remain seated and join in hymn number 338, I Seek the Spirit of a Child. Our share of the plate practice is in full swing, and all undesignated funds in the collection plate for the month will be split between UCF and the Carteret Long-Term Recovery Alliance. Every dollar that you give helps to enrich this congregation by caring for the building, paying our minister and staff, putting on programming, supporting our coming together, and helping to create our beloved community here. So I invite the ushers forward to collect today's offering. So please join me in hymn number 402, From You I Receive, and we'll sing it twice. Wes, would you help me extinguish the chalice, please? So please join me in reading the words on the screen behind me, and we'll extinguish our flames. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And in Spanish, extinguimos esta llama, para no la luz de verdad, el calor de comunidad, o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevamos en el corazón hasta que estemos otras vez. Now we invite everybody to rise as you're willing and able to sing our closing hymn. It's number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. So after our benediction today, I encourage you to remain in a circle for our postlude music. And remember that you're invited to enjoy coffee and conversation with the Ministerial Search Committee, and those on Zoom, take a little break and have some coffee and then come back for the Ministerial Search Committee. So if you're comfortable doing so, bump elbows or join hands, and while I share some closing words that are by Jean Olson. You guys did a really good job. May you be brave enough to expose your aching woundedness and reveal your vulnerability. May you speak your deepest truths, knowing that they will change as you do. May you sing the music within you, composing your own melody, playing your song with all your heart. May you draw, paint, sculpt, and sew, showing the world your vision. May you write letters, poetry, biography, slogans, graffiti, the great novel, laying bare your words to love and hate. May you love even though your heart breaks again and again. And until the end of your days, may your life be filled with possibilities and courage.
Super cheese and crackers. Oh. Up down. Blessed be. Because you're probably at lunch.
Did anyone on Zoom get up and do the hokey pokey? How you
We
feeling?
watch.
How you feeling,
Oh,
Tom?
a little better. I have been through the mill, Sandra.
Oh,
Wow.
I bet. Yeah.
This the good news is that finally, after 12 days, yesterday I tested negative.
Cool. Wow.
Boy, I was spewing virus for almost 2 weeks.
Holy cow.
Have you had
must have-
COVID, Tom?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Did you
Yeah.
have that new strain that I think they're coming out with the vaccine for that in
RBS.
September or October, something like that. I was reading
That's,
on John Hopkins website.
yeah.
You know,
Well, it's you never know, I guess, what strain you have. You just, doing these little home tests, all you know is that it was positive for
right.
COVID and whatever it was. I picked this up in Portland, Oregon
Ah,
on a
it seems when people travel, and the church have had either they've traveled or they've had people come to them. I know Dan
yeah.
had a real rough case of it, but I see he was in church this Sunday. But
Oh, I didn't see him, but I'm glad to
yep,
hear that he was
yep,
there.
I seen
Yeah.
him. So, and I think Joellen had a much lighter case. When I talked with him, you could tell in his voice, how I mean, it was pretty bad. But so, yeah, I think people are underestimating COVID. We get a sense of feeling that it's no longer around, but I don't.
It's around, and if you get it,
Yeah,
it's just as bad. I mean, I was fully vaxxed. I had all
yeah,
5,
yeah.
so
Same here. Wow.
probably helped out. But
So
I want to hear
Linda's
from,
okay.
yeah, we isolated in our big house, so that was possible, and she did not get it, thank
Oh,
goodness.
good, good.
Yeah.
Whew.
So, yeah, I don't want to, look at my navel too much here. How are the rest of you doing?
Daryl, how
Well,
you doing?
I've been in the hospital.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No, no.
yes.
What
I went up
happened?
to I went up to Chapel Hill last week to have 2 or 3 doctor appointments that I do every year.
Hmm.
And I tested, I started feeling bad on Thursday, and I just thought I hadn't had enough sleep and that I was exhausted because I'd been going crazy for 3 days, 4 days. And long story short, I actually checked into the Siler City UNC hospital because I was staying down near Pittsburgh on Saturday, and my sodium level was down to 116. Now,
Whoa.
you all may not know about sodium. I didn't know anything about it, but it's usually around 134. And anything below 120 is considered severe, and you
Yeah.
can have a stroke, a seizure, or you can die.
Yeah.
So at 116, that's where I was. So so I was on an IV for a part of a day, and then they just kept me there until Tuesday, feeding me a lot of food and saying, we want you to raise this up with food. So I got it up to 129 and begged them to let me out because they weren't doing anything that I couldn't do at home. So I
Yeah.
drove back here and I have been sort of laying low ever since. And I just learned yesterday that it's dropped down to 127.
Mm.
So I'm not happy with what's going on, and nobody can seem to figure out why. So
Mm.
that's the health report from
Is
Walker.
is
Oh
the
my God.
do,
What?
do
Potassium and stuff?
is that
Linda, I didn't hear
potassium?
you.
Are your other electrolytes okay? Your potassium, things like
Everything seems to be okay except sodium and chloride. Yeah,
chloride,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, chloride's the other one.
because they
Uh,
would be connected. Yeah, it's really
yeah.
weird. And I have been, I mean, since I've been back here, I've been taking extra electrolytes and salt tablets 3 times a day. And then to have it drop was just like, oh no.
Oh
So
my.
I'll get tested again tomorrow and see what's going on. But anyway,
oh, that's strange. Wow. I
yeah.
Yeah, it's an
I never
imbalance or
realized
something.
that about sodium, you know.
Oh,
It just
it's terrible. It's
wow.
terrible if it gets low.
I
It
know I
can
had
really
issues
kill
with
you.
potassium one time when they hospitalized me. I passed out in the emergency room and it was low potassium. And I had to take 5,000 milligrams a day for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But it did it, you know, the pill did it. You know,
That
that
electrolyte
with
imbalance
the
is
yeah,
critical.
yeah.
You gotta keep that
Potassium
in.
drips are nasty, you know.
Yeah,
But boy,
they are.
I hope they figure it out for you.
Yeah, Daryl,
Wow.
And Tom, I'm so sorry. I heard you say you'd had all your boosters and everything. That's a real bummer to get it anyway. Are you going back to wearing a mask?
well, not, I mean, I can't even go out now. I
Oh
am pretty
no, I don't.
debilitated.
No, I mean when you can go out. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm going, that was a shot over the bow. I'm
Huh.
really going to be careful, not to do anything that would risk getting this again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
You might get a
please, please stay safe, all of you, from this thing. It's out there. I know, I saw in the wave that Carteret County is low, right? But low doesn't mean non-existent. And
No.
yeah.
It's popping up. There's a lot of it up in Chatham County and around the
is there,
triangle. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda went to the pharmacy to get some meds for me yesterday, and she reported that there are no home COVID tests available at our big CVS pharmacy.
They are
Really?
hard to come by and very expensive. When he first got it, I bought 6 and it was like over $100.
Oh
They're
my.
like $15 a piece and it's
Oh
one
my.
test.
Good
So they're not
heavens.
free anymore.
They're not free anymore from,
And they're very hard to find. I've had to go to 3 pharmacies to, find
Yeah.
them.
Oh,
Even
that's
so,
interesting.
when I went back to get the meds, like Tom said, there wasn't any there yesterday. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I got the number because we've blown through several
yeah.
testing him, trying
Yeah.
to see when it was negative.
Well, they had that program with every family you could get um through Medicare, you could get 8 kits for free, and that ended just a while back, and they had a run on because happened to been in the store and was going to just grab one, and a worker told me I didn't even know about the program, and so I was grabbing stuff for my kids to test that had it, so I grabbed my free 8. Insurance
Good,
gave
I'm
them my
glad you got them.
yeah, so that's
That's-
probably why there's such a shortage. It'll take a while for them to replace those shelves because
Yeah,
everybody, you had that last date, and it's like you said,
Yeah.
they're expensive. I
Yeah.
mean, to get, yeah.
and
So
So,
I
they
have
also
some that are
outdate.
they get out of date. I have still a couple that I never used, and I'm thinking, is this really out of date or can I use it?
well,
It's hard to know.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, the new ones, I don't know if
Extended the
they'll
date at
detect the
one
new
time.
strain.
What,
They,
Linda?
like initially they had a shorter date, and the ones we have a sticker on 'em that say, ignore shorter date on the insert package
Oh,
insert
really?
thing. Yeah, it's, I can go see what it is. I think it was like 6 or 9 months later.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess
So,
they still
Tom, have
work.
you thought of getting a blood test to see what kind of what you COVID virus you had, whether you had the new
Not,
one or not?
yeah, not at this point.
Because I bet you it might explain why your 5 vaccines didn't do, give you a lighter case of that
Right, yeah.
if you had that, because the vaccine for the new one's supposed to come out next month.
Well, this is happening in Illinois too. I have a son who lives in about an hour and a half south of Chicago.
Oh,
And he and his family went to a wedding
uh-oh.
and he got COVID. They didn't know that the bride had COVID,
Oh, no.
but his wife and daughter have tested okay. But he's been pretty sick. And
Dang.
I had a trip to the ER again. My
Oh,
Oh, no, what happened?
What
my
happened?
blood pressure. I didn't fall, but my blood pressure is very touchy, and
Oh, I'm
they
so
say I'm
sorry.
healthy, but I feel rotten. So
Yeah.
Sorry.
dear.
well, they're starting me actually on some antidepressant again, which is fine.
Has the
Okay.
blood pressure come up?
It comes up and drops down when I stand up.
Oh, no.
There's a condition that I just have to be really careful.
Careful when you.
Because that could result in a fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
My blood work was mostly okay, but she's going to test me for magnesium
Mm,
level.
yeah.
And
That's a good supplement to take. I take a supplement.
What do you take? Because we were reading about magnesium,
Magnesium
glycolate.
Yeah,
Is that what you take?
I think that's what it is.
And why do you take it?
Um, my doctor just suggested it. I used to have some issues with potassium dropping and what was it? Something else that would always drop. Um, and why there was all a combination together. It was the B12, potassium, and magnesium. They all just like plummeted. And, and I ended up getting, shots right in even not to get out of the doctor's office to get, and then, on high dosage of those for years, and then back down, ended up in the emergency room, passed out, and they had to do a potassium drip, and they had to do it fast. And I'll tell you, it's sort of like a bee stinging you constant. And they said, this is the tech person who came in to start it. She said, I'm real sorry, but this is going to really hurt, you know. And we got to do the whole bag was, so
Oh,
it takes
awful.
several hours. Yes. So I tell you, when I went on, taking my medicine, stuff like that, boy, eating bananas, eating, watermelon, sweet potatoes is high in
Apricots are
I
good.
don't mess around with potassium anymore.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
like it.
Good for you.
Yeah, and it's all, and those kinds of things are standard. And when I have my annual physical, they don't normally test you for a lot of different, but my D and my E and potassium level and magnesium, those are always, tested. So, and I think as you age, can get a little more, susceptible to those.
Unfortunately, everything does.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Ain't it the truth?
Yeah, you
for
wake up
sissies.
each day and say, well, let's see what's gonna happen today,
Yeah.
Linda and
Yeah.
Tom, to change the subject, it's really nice to see you both. I haven't seen you all for ages. Did you take a trip or do anything this summer before you got sick?
Yes.
A trip, several trips.
Several
Oh,
trips.
wonderful.
And I probably overdid it and got myself exhausted, which set me up for these other problems. But I went to Nicaragua in February with Sister Communities of San Ramon.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
And that was a wonderful, wonderful week-long trip.
Yeah.
And then Linda and I went to Costa Rica for a nature trip in
Nice.
May.
First week in May.
Yeah, it was a
10 days.
10-day trip, which was wonderful. And then I went to Susi. Are you familiar with Susi? It's the Southeastern Unitarian Universalist Summer Institute, which is basically a week-long summer camp for UUs up in Cullowhee, North Carolina, on the Western Carolina
Right,
University
I know
campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was wonderful. I also, prior to that, hosted my granddaughter in Beaufort for a week, and then we went to Susi together. I came back, and then a quick turnaround to this meeting in Portland, which ended not so well for me. And so
Yeah.
I'm probably suffering from a combination of overdoing and
exhaustion.
COVID.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'll be quite frank with you, my problems right now are emotional. It's been really tough, just having a lot of anxiety about everything.
Well, COVID triggered it.
Yeah.
That's a known trigger for COVID. It can trigger mental health issues.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
so anxiety and depression are
Yeah.
pretty common post-COVID problems.
Yeah.
And so sorting this out with some meds to control anxiety and just trying to work through this. Plus, I'm extremely weak from
Lying in bed for 6 days.
lying in bed with a fever and bone aches.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's tough.
Yeah, this has really set me back.
Yeah. I hope you're not pushing yourself to try to do more than you should at this point.
No,
Keep him down.
Yeah.
Good, Linda. Keep him down.
Yeah. Fortunately, the folks at UCF have jumped into the fray, especially Maryland, because I had a lot of worship activities this
September. I know you were very active.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when I can get back.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about that now. It'll get done.
Yeah.
Everybody is so just amazing.
Very supportive and take care of him first, take care of his health first.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Nothing's out there that can't be dealt with by others.
Yeah.
Take each day at a time and
one day at a time is my mantra right now.
It's got med that seems to be doing well, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sally Davis had, when she had COVID real bad, and still a year later, you know, they any of your physical health issues you have, COVID seems to worsen those. And then
Oh, no.
and then they take a while. Those things take a
She's
while
got a
to
heart
recover
issue.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a
Oh,
heart
sure.
issue, and she's
Oh,
doing, slowly a lot better. But boy, I'll tell you, uh, I was shocked to see the change, the physical change in her that COVID did.
oh,
Yeah.
oh.
So, but she's, my daughter had the same thing in early 1920, and um, and she's, back to quote before, but for some people, it just takes a while, and you have to take it easy and not push yourself.
Yeah.
Um, not everybody rebounds from COVID the same. And
Right.
so don't compare yourself to any others who are recovering from COVID, you know, take
Yeah,
each day, figure out what your body and your system needs each day and do it,
yeah.
It's a weird disease.
It is,
It
it's,
really
and the
is.
effects of, I mean, that I've seen in, family and close friends it's so different. I mean, from people to people. I mean, so there's no like one set road like with flus that you can follow, you know. That's what's really quirky about COVID. Part of it's figuring out trying different things and do what helps you personally. Yeah, do that.
Going back to
Well,
electrolytes. I
yes.
drink,
Yeah.
I drink a lot of Propel, which is I get it in a powder from Amazon and mix my own drink, and it seems to help stabilize all my electrolytes.
Lights. Yep, that's good.
So is that like a
It's a,
Gatorade type of
yeah,
thing?
it's
But it's
made by
healthier.
Gatorade,
But don't
but
drink Gatorade.
you can get.
I'm drinking electrolytes right now too.
Oh, yeah.
Happy.
Yep.
Liquid
That's what I'm
IV.
sipping on.
Yeah.
Liquid
Yeah.
IV. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
scary
Hydration
name.
multiplier.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't drink too much water either. That'll dilute things.
That's
So,
what they
yeah.
said. They wouldn't let me drink any water in the hospital. They said you've washed out so many minerals that. So it's
Yeah.
weird. They said no more than 2 cups a day.
Yeah,
Right. I drink water with meals, but then I try to drink 3 of these a day of electrolytes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good for you.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing now too. Happy.
You can
Yeah.
buy the little packets at Walmart, or I
Mhm.
get them on Amazon. They're
Yeah.
just a little packet, and you mix them with a thing of water. It's
Yeah.
much cheaper that way.
And much healthier. Some of those are, check them out.
Now,
They're
this doesn't have any caffeine. It's got some
yeah.
artificial sweetener in it,
Yeah.
but
Gatorade.
I remember hearing in the news about some fraternity or sorority that had this hazing thing where the new member was forced to drink a gallon of water
Oh no.
and
Oh.
And kill them.
and it killed
Yeah,
them.
it killed them.
It killed them.
Yeah, you
Just-
drown. Wow.
Oh.
So for their guests, they have a voluntary
Good morning. Is everybody finding a seat okay? Is this on? Ah, hallelujah. What? Can I take this away? Yes, you can. Somebody forgot to fill out their order. Crayons up here and everything. Okay. Good morning. Thank you all for coming to this first search committee coffee. We're going to try to do this. The board has made the decision to come before you the last Sunday of the month, and we will also be present at that time for coffee with the board and search committee. And we will be available to you at any time, it doesn't have to be a special meeting, to talk with you. I'm sorry to say that today we are not the complete search committee. I'm Penny Hooper. Amy is here, and Sarah is here, but we're missing, of course, the two empty chairs are Tom. He's present in spirit, as is Miriam. And those folks had real good excuses for today. Miriam has hurt her knee, and she wanted to be here to do this part of it. She wanted to share the beginning with you. So she asked me to do it, so let me just read what she has written about what's happening. First off, you all know that Reverend Micah is our interim minister, and she will be leaving. And when she leaves, we need a new minister. And that's... I apologize. I'm so glad she's not here. Don't anybody tell her. I'm sure glad they are not here. Oh, it's awful. Reverend Micah will be leaving. That's my answer, is to always use Reverend Micah or Reverend Ma. But she will be leaving. They will be leaving. And I guess I'm nervous. And the five of us have been approved by you to represent you as we search for a full new time. Different types of ministers we could have chosen to look for: a settled minister, an interim minister, a contract minister, all kinds of things that the UUA has. What we are hoping to see is that once we use the UUA guidelines for the contract minister, plus items from the more stringent process for a settled minister. So a contract minister, you don't have to do as much in terms of the search committee as you would for a settled minister. A settled minister requires the survey, which I hope you have all filled out, and will fill out if you haven't done it. Friday is the deadline, noon on Friday. So the contract minister doesn't require that survey, nor does it require the cottage meetings that we're going to be having. But we are really, really working as hard as we can to make this be an interactive process where we hear from you. It's not our decision, it's our decision. So we want to hear from you in all ways possible. So that's the survey, that's the cottage meetings, and that's meetings like this, and that's conversations one-on-one, okay? So we are here for you. We've had lots of training, and we are looking forward to all these conversations where we do have questions. We will be working with the UUA Transitions Office. Somebody got a phone? Can't find it? Thank you. Thank you. No worries, no worries, no worries. So, like I said, we're looking forward to conversations with the UUA on questions that we might have about how to move forward. So we're not working alone. We're working in concert with the Unitarian Universalist Association. We have a covenant. We have a calendar of events that we're following. We will have a congregational survey by next Friday, and we have a profile that is a work in progress. We have planned cottage meetings that will start in September, and we have an in-process proposed contract, which is now in front of the board to decide what pay range we're going to pay for a minister. All of this is currently available to you, or will be available to you when we finish up the process. We'll start identifying candidates by early 2024. Our process will pretty much be done by the end of November, other than choosing the possibilities that we might have from the UUA. We'll proceed with Zoom interviews with those folks that we choose, and we'll have the very best full-time contract minister in the pulpit 1 year from now. So that's the plan. Yeah, yay is right. May it be so. Yes, yes. And that contract minister, we hope, will love us as much as we love him or her or they. I did it. And we will ask them to be a settled minister towards the end of their tenure as a contract minister. That's our plan. We don't want to have to go through this too many times. So I want to just quickly, 3 minutes, we're going to tell you what each of us does. I'll start with the people that are not here on the committee, but we have broken up the duties. Miriam is in charge of proposing our weekly meeting agendas, and she will represent us to the Board of Trustees and vice versa. She is half-time secretary on the BOT, and so she will be sharing information with them and bringing their information to us. For instance, the contract, we're working on that right now. So she tries to keep us on track. In other words, this whole thing here, she did all this. So that's what Miriam's up to. Tom, we have put in charge of putting together and pulling together from various sources our profile, which is a profile of our people and our building and our site, and it will be what a person looks at on the UUA website when they decide they want to investigate us as a possibility. So the profile's important. It won't be done until November. It will track where we have been and where we hope to go and what we are looking for in a minister. That's the three things: where we've been, where we're going to go, and what we are looking for in a minister. So that will be done with advice from the BOT, from your surveys, from your cottage meetings, from conversations that we have had, and we will pull it all together, and it will be a beautiful document that we send on to be posted at the website. For me, I'm the one that's organizing the cottage meetings. We took a page out of the playbook for the flag and decided to hold the cottage meetings here at different times when everybody can come, and if you can't come, there will be a full Zoom meeting for you. Those calendar dates are posted in every way possible, and I will let Amy tell you all those ways that she keeps us in line with information.
Good morning. I'm Sarah. So my responsibilities in the committee are taking the minutes to make sure we agree on what we discussed and decided each week. And then the other piece was I drafted the surveys. So I drafted a paper copy. So does anyone need a paper copy? 2? Okay. We will reach out to you all and get you that paper copy. For everyone else, have you completed the survey? Raise your hand.
Everybody raise their hand that's done it.
Yes, everyone who's done it. Okay. Okay. All right. I see. We got a couple more people that need to do it. So again, we have it until Friday. So we've had 36 people complete the online version, and then we will, if we get a paper copy, I'm going to add that to the online to be able to have those final numbers. And like Penny said, we can't complete our profile until we know what you want to see and what qualities that you are looking for, and we will add that in there once we have those results. So I appreciate everyone who has taken the time to do that. It's very quick, only takes 5 to 10 minutes. We have a couple more days to do that, so let's get that done, and then we'll know what we need to talk about in our cottage meetings. So that will be our guiding document from there. So thank you. Any questions for me on the survey? Okay, thank you.
So you talk about a big shout out. Sarah, the example that went from UUA would have, they literally in the introduction to the survey said, grab yourself something to eat and drink, because it was question after question. And so we felt like some of that was probably not necessary for our purposes, so she did a great job drilling this down and being respectful of your time while trying to get the most information. So my primary role on the search committee is to provide timely, transparent, and informative updates for the WAVE, Coastline, and the worship service announcements. And we also have a bulletin board in the social hall, and I try to keep that updated as best I can. This is the first time I've ever done a bulletin board in my life. So anyway, but I do the best I can with that. You know, and we say we've all got these primary roles, but it's real clear that we work together. I mean, everything we do, we vet with the other four in our committee. So it's a really seamless team, and we appreciate you voting on us and having trust in our roles. And we want to make sure that you know about the search process and what we're doing at every step of the way. And a consistent message that I hope we're conveying is that we want to hear from you. It's not just 5 people deciding, as Penny said, it is us deciding. We want to hear your ideas, we want to hear your questions, and we want to hear your suggestions. And now is the one time that you can do that in a meeting like this, or as Penny said, we're here. One or more of us is here every Sunday. So if you see us, stop us, ask a question, or give us an idea, or say, y'all are crazy. What are you thinking about doing this? Whatever. And for those on Zoom, please remember to, chat. Type your questions into chat. We got Penny and Barb. Not Penny.